Hey guys, it's Paul from Ashen. It's a new comic book day for the week of August 9th, and we're going to get started right now.
Alright guys, Tim from Capes and Scowls and the comic book store, and we're going to talk about these trades. What do we got? We got SpongeBob Comics Volume 3. SpongeBob's good. I mean, it's, geared towards kids, but it's great, right? Kill or Be Killed Volume 2. This is great. I've read this in issues. Brubaker stuff. We got Justice League of America. This is the team with Lobo and Killer Frost and Vixen. It's a pretty sweet book. We got Over the Garden Wall, which is a Cartoon Network show that I've never watched. But Joe loves it. Hi, Joe. And then we got Batman, Arkham, Clayface. I really like Clayface. I have no idea what books are in here. And I still don't. But it has some old ones, and there's been a lot of Clayfaces, so that's probably a fun read. We got Faith from Valiant. I didn't read this volume. I've read other issues of Faith that are good. I know there's a One-Eyed Bear. That's kind of cool, right? We got Eclipse. Eclipse is fantastic by Zach Kaplan, who is really nice guy. We actually interviewed him on Capes and Scouts. And then The Lost Boys. You remember that movie that you really liked, even though it's not that good, right? Well, here's a not good book on the same property. And then we got Superpowers. Geared towards kids, obviously, but it's a really cool art, and it's a good one. It's a good one to get the little ones into these here comics. So let's get going.
First up, Captain America, issue number 25. And if you notice, it says Captain America. It doesn't say Sam Wilson. It doesn't say Steve Rogers. It is Captain America because you're dealing with both of them. I don't know if this is going to be the end of one of the other series. I think it might, actually. But this is a very important issue, especially if you are checking out Secret Empire, because, wow, this sets up a lot. If you're caught up with Secret Empire, well, if you're not caught up, earmuffs for a second. If you're caught up, you know that things went badly in the last issue of Secret Empire, and Captain America kind of got his first taste of some sort of loss, and he didn't take it well. So this is that retaliation and how bad things go in that direction, and also how the good is happening with Captain America Sam Wilson. It was a great issue. I really liked how it was. I've been a huge fan of Nick Spencer since the beginning of this. A little bit cheesy on the kind of the MacGuffin on how we're going to eventually end Secret Empire. It's kind of revealed here, interestingly enough. But it was definitely a good read. Check it out.
Alright guys, let's talk about Redlands #1 by Jordi Belair, she's probably best known for her work as a colorist on basically every book you own. I would think there are no other colorists. She really is on every great book ever. But she's the writer and the colorist here. This is about some witches in 1970-something attacking a southern town, attacking the police there. And the police are kind of scummy. You get that impression right off the bat. And it doesn't give you a ton of story in issue 1. It sets up the tone of it. The witches are pretty creepy. What is important to know is Belair is very known for her colors. The art is kind of line heavy, which some people may not like, but there's not a lot of color in it. And the usage of color is very important. It's very dark. There's a lot of reds. There's a lot of fires that start within it, and that's very bright. But until that moment, it's just dark and creepy. You really can't tell what's going on, and it's a very good device. So if you're into weird horror kind of books, you'll probably like this one.
Next up, Titans, issue number 14, and Brett Booth is back, so you know this issue is going to be good. It is really good. I love his art. I've been a huge fan of his art for a long time now, so I appreciate him being on Titans. We are dealing with, there's a traitor in our midst. Who is that traitor? This issue is a very important one because it's going to be what sets up the next arc, because we find out who it is finally. It's a big one. It's a very big twist on this issue. The writing has been stellar all the way through, even when Brett Booth is not doing the art. So do yourselves a huge favor. If you haven't picked up Titans before, pick up the trades. Check it out, because Brett Booth and Dan Abnett are doing amazing work with this series.
My next book, Paul randomly chose for me, because that's a fun little game we do when I don't know what else I want to read. And I got Hulk. Hulk! Number 9. I am a big fan of She-Hulk in general as a character. What they've been doing with her is kind of different. She turns into a grayish, greenish Hulk. She's a little bit bigger. She's a lot angrier. The rage is harder for her to control. This particular issue, and the earlier issues I liked a few. I didn't like a couple. It's still the same team to my knowledge. I know it's the same writer. This one was a little better. It focuses on an internet celebrity who has a cooking show on the old YouTubes, and he is attacked and turned into a monster, basically. And she loves this guy. She loves his show, so she's like, go help this guy. It's an interesting kind of story. It doesn't really resolve the way I wanted it to. It's going to continue into more issues. It wasn't bad, but since I kind of jumped in, I don't know. It wasn't. Who cares? It was all right. There's better She-Hulk stories. I swear.
All right, guys, and this week's pick of the week is Secret Empire, issue number 8. If you are checking out this series and you are checking out some of the tie-ins, make sure you read Captain America 25 first. It's very important for the setup to this issue, and I do have kind of that a problem with that because tie-ins shouldn't necessarily be as pivotal as this issue was to the outcome of Secret Empire's 8, but it actually was. So that is kind of the one tick that I do have with it, but we have Sam Wilson getting his troops, getting what's left of his group to make that one last push. We have Steve getting ready to just crush everything underfoot, and who is going to get there first? It is leading up. I'm really excited with how this is going to go, and I'm really almost kind of sad that there's only 2 issues left, because I feel this has been one of the best series, one of the best events since before Secret Wars. This was so well done, and it's a great series. And if you are not reading it, if you're worried about event fatigue or whatever, you need to come off the fence and off the shelf and pick up Secret Empires, because it is that well done.
All right, guys, and here's my pick of the week. It's Mr. Miracle #1 by Tom King, who is an amazing writer. He just won an Eisner Award for his work on The Vision for Marvel. And Mr. Miracle, if you don't know, is one of the new gods. He is in a relationship with Barda. And this is not at all what I expected. The book starts off with Mr. Miracle, panel 1, trying to off himself. He tries to commit suicide. And it's kind of his road back from that. And you're trying to figure out, has he lost his mind? Is it a depression thing? Is it something else? And it is beautifully, the art is beautiful. It's really like a masterpiece, the way the art is done. It's as important in telling the story as any words that King writes. Very strange book. This is probably going to be a lot of fun to read going forward. If you like the New Gods, if you like Darkseid is going to be your villain, I'm pretty sure. There's already a lot of groundwork laid here, and I could guess a couple points, but we can't get into that just now. Just know Tom King is a great writer, and this book looks to be everything I expected it to be and more. So read this. It's amazing. Do it. And look, it's got an ad for the Colonel, which is not amazing.
All right, guys, that's it. It's another great week. Thanks to our Patreon fans, Ross, Michael, and David. You guys are awesome. Thanks to everybody else who has also checked us out. You have a link. We will put one in the description for you guys to donate. You don't have to. It's not something important that you have to do. We just generally appreciate if you do. There's some exclusive content and some behind-the-scenes stuff that you might see or you might not see elsewhere. So again, guys, we will see you next week.